Chapter 4. I won't spend too much time here picking at this period of Antony's life. There isn't much joy to be found, nor really anything to be learned from. It is a sad chapter. A similar time in my own life exists now in my memory as a grey haze. I find it hard to talk about, or write about, because my mind has graced me with forgetfulness. All that's important to be understood is what led Antony to turn away from family, what pushed him out into the world. "Come back here!" his mother bawled at him. Antony slumped into his sister's bed, exhausted. She held him there against her, pressed into the fruit salad-decorated duvet. "She's coming," said his sister. "I know," said Antony. "How dare you! How dare you walk away from me when I'm talking to you?" The voice trailed down the hallway like a bad smell. Harsh footsteps accompanied and the door opened. Antony pressed his face deeper into his sister's duvet and breathed in her scent. It comforted him. "Leave me alone," he moaned into the covers. "You little child, you little child! You have no respect for me." "And what is there to respect, Mum?" Turning slowly, he said it. Cold, like a blade. He saw the edge of his words sink into his mum's thoughts and into her chest. These months had aged him and left him jaded. Childhood was leaving him prematurely, and he hadn't the effort to try and make her stay. "Get off the bed! Now!" Antony slid off from where he was slumped and got to his feet like something liquid lazily solidifying. He turned around and looked at his mother. "You only do this to upset me. Why do I deserve this? I work all day for you two, and all you do is try to ruin this house." In fact, what had happened, an hour or so prior, was that Antony had been washing up and spilled water on the kitchen floor. His feet had been muddy, and so, consequently, also were the tiles. Terrified that his mum would see the mess, he used the closest thing to him, the kitchen cloth, and hid it away after in the clothes bin. She'd found it, of course, brown and soggy and stowed deep. It seemed in those days that his mother had employed herself as her own private investigator, tasked with two main objectives. One, prove that her children could no longer stand her and that they both plotted against her happiness. Two, tear the house down. The same routine played out within the theatre of the living room and the side sets of the bedrooms and kitchen each evening, without rebate. Tonight, however, in fact, he and his sister had been conspiring. Antony waited for his mother to stop her screeching before addressing her without feeling. "We're leaving," he said. He hoped his voice didn't tremble or get caught on itself. At that moment, he wanted to hurt her. "We're going to Dad's." He spoke with forced apathy like someone delivering an eviction notice. "We're leaving," he repeated. "We are going to live with him now." And that was all that was said. He turned to his sister, his back on his mother. His mother gasped and gobbled and moaned and left the room. She ran down the stairs. They could both hear her nails scratch the banister as her wobbly legs carried her back to the kitchen table and her wine glass. The door slammed. They packed quickly, a few toys, clothes, a blue toothbrush, a green one, jumper, coat. Their little bags were full. A black one, a purple one. Their father lived in the same village in a little cottage, one bedroom. For the next months his sister stayed in the bed with his dad, and Antony slept on the floor behind the door. "What are we going to do?" his sister asked. Though slightly older than him, they had become so close recently that they may well have been twins. Her name was Lola. "I don't know, Lols. We've never done this before." She took his hand in hers, and they walked beneath the lamplight. The town was absorbed in silence. Only their footsteps could be heard. The ground was damp with young rain. The sky was a powerful black, and grey clouds hung in its ceiling, outlined silver by a three-quarter moon. It waned. The further they walked from their mother's door, the lighter Antony felt. "She'll be okay, Lols," seeing that his sister was staring at her feet. "She isn't going to stop. I have shouted with her and been fighting with her for so long that my throat hurts. Maybe she'll see that she is the problem, now that there is no one left to leave." Lola's hand clenched his tightly, acknowledging the painful truth set into his words. As you may know, ants communicate through chemical messages called pheromones. Using these chemicals, they can plot a course from the nest to areas abundant in food, or a danger warning if the nest is under siege. These chemicals are what tie ant to ant and ant to nest. It is like an invisible nervous system, directing, warning, protecting, guiding, connecting everything. You can tell when an ant is lost by the incoherency of his movements, Like a single cell divided from her body, the ant, without falling back into the passing highway of fellow ants and information, will tickle the area with her antennas tirelessly until she exhausts herself. It is not heartbreaking. I have watched several ants, totally isolated, travel in silly shapes for the best part of an hour, once or twice, despite the instruction from wildlife documentaries never to interfere with nature, bringing an end to their search with my finger. On that night, Anthony felt like he and Lola were two ants, connected to nothing but each other. They had pinballed through school and friendship groups and parental interrogations for years. They were a nest of two, lost to the world and everyone else except themselves. They arrived at their father's. He opened the door with raised eyebrows, but said nothing. He crouched on his haunches and they fell into his arms. He cooked them food and they ate greedily in silence. He watched them fondly. It was Christmas time, and the tree pulsed warm light from the living room. They slept on the sofa that night in a puddle. Their father woke early, the tree still on, casting golden peaks and dark folds upon Anthony and Lola's soft faces. He did not sleep again, but sat there watching them breathe.